What's up, y'all? I'm Kerah Whitfield. Welcome to Kerah Speaks, where faith, healing, and real conversations meet. I am a speaker as well as author of the book, Healing Cost Me Everything. That's available right now on Amazon.com. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's build a community. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Kerah Speaks. Today I want to talk about the myth that they think that people who are healed are nicer. I can assure you, it is complete opposite. See, that people not going to be used to you. When you are healed, you talk different, you act different, you look different, you sound different. And people are not going to be used to that, especially if you are still in the same circles where you were operating from an unhealed place. People are still going to be expecting you to show up like you did when you were wounded. So they're going to expect the same people-pleasing attitudes, the same agreeable way you used to show up, the same giving person you were. They're going to expect all of that stuff. But what they don't understand is the deep healing work that it takes to no longer be a people pleaser. That is a lot of undoing and unraveling. It becomes to a point where you almost get angry, and like, absolutely not. I ain't letting nobody else take advantage of me anymore. But you have to find the balance of resting in peace and creating firm boundaries without resentment and without bitterness, right? So that's what I want to talk about today. People think that a healed person has endless amounts of warmth, endless amounts of access, endless amounts of care, and they've been to therapy and they just all hugs and kisses and rainbows and healing language and all of that stuff. No, healing is not aesthetically pleasing. Okay. It is not what you read about in romance novels. It is not what you see on TikTok. It is not about going out for dinner every single night. It is about deep uncovering and excavation. There is clarity that you have that makes you more selective with the people that you choose and more intentional about when and where you show up, where you put your energy, more unavailable, I think. Some people might see that as distant or cold, but when you have done the deep reflective work, you just don't want to be in places that drain you. And you definitely don't want to be in places that pull you back to what you were, that you worked through. But people tend not to understand that. They expect and are entitled to this healed version of you. I'll give you an example. This person read my book and he told me, "Oh, your book doesn't give healed." Now, initially, I didn't pay it no mind. I didn't care what he said. But a couple of weeks later, he came to me and he offered this information because I surely didn't ask. And he said, "It doesn't give healed because you be in here bullshitting." And so I interpreted that to be, this person expect me to be the person he sees in the book. He has this expectation or this perception of the person that wrote this book in this workplace, because he's a coworker. And also, I would like to add, this is a person who wants to take me on a date. Okay. So I am not very nice to him. I'm not accessible to him. I'm not attainable. Now, this is the type of man that my unhealed self would have been attracted to: emotionally unavailable, toxic, inconsistent, all those things, right? So I give him the energy of a person who is emotionally unavailable and inconsistent. I'm not interested in that. And he feels that energy. However, when he reads this book is written by someone who appears to be open, who appears to be kind, who appears to be agreeable. But when he comes to work, he gets a totally different person. So that's why he said it doesn't give healed, because what I give in the book is not what I give to him. But I don't owe him that. I don't owe him the healed version of me. That's what people don't understand. Just because I'm healed, don't mean I got to talk to you. Don't mean I got to be your friend. Don't mean that we have to hash out anything and have a conversation. I am honoring me now. I am taking what I feel and what I want into account now. I'm not seeking the approval of nobody. I'm not performing softness. I'm not jumping up and doing tricks to show you that I'm worthy. I don't care what you think of me. So if the book doesn't give healed, that's your opinion. I don't care. His experience with me felt like I was unavailable to him. However, when he reads the book, I seem inviting. So those things don't match. But instead of questioning his expectations, he's questioning my healing. But again, I don't have to prove or perform healing for anybody. People think that when you are healed, you're just going to invite everybody into your life. You know, I am no longer looking for people to just admire me or like me anymore, right? I'm not interested in being consumed or studied, you know. I've had my experience with that. And I will say that I was a little bit naive in the beginning because I thought that people who did that were genuine. Because I am a person who I do study people, but not in a way that is judgmental or not in a way where I am admiring them. I am always looking to know things. I'm looking to know how people think. I want to know what makes them the way that they are, not to place myself above or below them, but just to get to know them so I can understand them, so I can know how to interact with them, right? But there are some people who will study you and they will admire you so much to the point that they will start to resent you. And in the past, I would have people gravitate towards me who initially admired me, right? And say, oh my goodness, I love the way you dress. Let's be friends. Oh my goodness, you're so pretty. Let's be friends. At first that was, an ego stroke, right? That was, oh, they like me. No, it wasn't you like me. You like qualities about me. You like traits about me, but not me. So I am looking for people who want to know me, who want to know Kerah. But not everybody deserves that part of me. So I protect that part of me for people who are willing to honor the version of me that has worked so hard to heal. So I just don't give access to everybody. It's just that I have peace in my life. And as a person, and when you have peace inside, you are able to recognize and you are very keenly aware of people who don't live in peace. Okay? When you are walking around with the peace that passes understanding, the peace of the Holy Spirit, it don't matter what's going on out in the world. Chaotic stuff, you don't become that. I am in the world, but I'm not of the world. And you definitely notice when people come into your life that has no peace. And I don't want no parts of that, right? So I am very intentional about who I allow in my life. I'm intentional about how I'm showing up with people. And I'm only interested in peace. And I am no longer interested in pleasing people and managing people's emotions. It's the reason that I grieved friendships. It's the reason that I had to pray the removal prayer every single year because I kept choosing people that I had to please. People are never pleased. So I was always constantly wasting my time. I stayed small, palatable. If somebody looked at me, they will say, oh, Kerah, there's nothing about you small. You're extremely opinionated. You always got something to say about somebody. You always got something to say. You always telling people how you feel. Absolutely, I did. But let me tell you something. When it came to people I cared about, when it came to people I loved, I didn't. There were a lot of things I kept bottled up. There were a lot of things I did not say to keep the peace. And I thought that I was doing it because I loved them. But I was abandoning myself every single time, and it cost me. It cost me. So just when you see somebody that is opinionated, understand that there was a lot of things that I was not saying. I was not saying when I was hurt. I was not saying when I was offended by something, not all the time. Because I was saying this stuff to people who were not aligned with me. So it was always met with resistance and dismissal. So I shrunk my needs. So you see somebody that's opinionated, but what you don't see is a person who is begging on the inside for somebody to meet me in the depths of my soul. And I wasn't getting that because I was people pleasing. I was shrinking emotionally. I was shrinking spiritually, and I was shrinking rationally. But you know what healing did? Healing told me to stop negotiating what I needed and standing firm in that. And that's what I did. That's why I ended up walking away from friendships. That's why I ended up walking away from jobs. That's why I stopped participating in conversations that were performative. Peace don't need performance. It just is. You just live it. So I set boundaries now. I'm not going to do fake stuff, right? I'm not going to maintain surface level friendships or relationships just to keep the peace. I don't want to do that anymore. If we're not coming with any depth, I don't want no parts of it. That's a boundary that I set. I don't want to force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. If somebody wants to remain surface level, I allow them to. I thrive in depth. I move with intentionality and with purpose. I am not shrinking myself. I'm not here to be palatable to people. I am here to be myself. I'm here to honor what Yahweh gave me. I'm here to honor who he made me to be. Fully, honestly, without apology. I don't need permission to grow. I don't need permission to be who I was born to be, who I was created to be. And at the end of the day, I am not keeping peace. I am going where I am received, respected, and loved. And I nurture those places because that's important too. Like you can cut off everything that does not serve you, but if you don't nurture what does, then you're going to lose that too. So that's what I spend my time doing, nurturing the places that serve me, constantly reminding myself the importance of having a community where alignment is natural and being comfortable in the calm, being comfortable in the peace, and being okay in places where I don't have to perform worth. I don't have to jump through hoops. I'm settling my spirit in that. Before I used to feel like I got to do something for them to show them that I appreciate them. Now I don't have to do that. No, I don't have to do that. I'm not being asked to do that. And I don't just get enamored by words anymore. I pay attention to action. And I am getting comfortable with setting boundaries. I am comfortable with setting boundaries. I still feel that tension of the old me, being worried that people are going to leave if I set boundaries. But if my boundaries make somebody uncomfortable, then that's their problem, not mine. That's something they got to process within themselves. I'm free. That discomfort belongs to them, not me. I'm not abandoning myself anymore just to make people feel comfortable. That's what healing looks like. So tell me how you have changed when it comes to being healed. Are you nicer? Are you kinder? Or have your boundaries upset people in your life who knew you when you were unhealed? Let me know in the comments. I'll see y'all next time. Remember, stay faithful, stay healed, stay free. Hey, have you been to KerahSpeaks.com today? Because it's not just a website, it's a piece of my journey. Every section, every word, every design was created with purpose and intention. On KerahSpeaks.com, you'll find my book, Healing Cost Me Everything, the story of how faith and healing transformed my life. You'll also find my merch that carries the same message of healing and hope, designed to inspire and empower everybody who wears it. Because healing isn't just personal, it's communal. Visit KerahSpeaks.com today and join the movement. Faithful, healed, and free.